started the season off with a bang, big win. I'm gonna need to finish the year the same way in order to make the Classic. So the final stop of the Bassmaster Elite Series on the mighty Mississippi in La Crosse, Wisconsin, a place I love to fish. Yeah, really kind of painted myself into a corner as far as the standings go with the AOY. Started out the season, obviously with the win, but then since then, I've just been consistently in the middle, slid down the standings, outside of the Classic cut. No way to make it up in this last tournament, except for the fact that it's a win and you're in. So my mindset going into this tournament was gonna be focus on making a top 10, and then see what happens. Like if you don't make a top 10, you can't try to win the tournament. So a lot of people say, I just went for the win, blah, blah, blah. That's a bunch of crap, really. You gotta make that top 10 first. That puts you on the type of fish to win the tournament. So my practice mentality was to go out, see if I could find a way to get on some better quality fish. I did that in a couple different areas. So day one, we started out in an area where I thought I could catch some decent fish pretty early. All right, here we are, early morning, final event of the 22 season, La Crosse, Wisconsin. We are up here in the Black River getting ready for takeoff. Got all the boys putting in, you know what I'm saying? We are gonna get out there, get after it. Mixed practice, caught some fish. Not found what we're looking for yet, but never know. We're gonna get ready. It's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of fun. This is a really cool place, so stay tuned. Here we go.
4-5. A two-time Elite Series champion from Salem, Virginia, the cruise missile, John Cruz.
So first spot I went to, I thought had some real potential to catch 2 or 3 good fish early while the light was still low. Lo and behold, I rolled in there and it looked like fresh coffee. It looked tasty. It made me want to get a cup of Folgers or a Starbucks or whatever and have a sip. But I don't like that when the water was not like that before. Never had a bite there. It took me like 10 minutes, made sure those fish weren't still there. Moved my backup area that I almost started on. I wanted to go there, so I ran all through this maze of islands and back channels and stuff, and I finally got to where I wanted to go. 3 boats in this little channel area. I'm not talking a big area. I'm talking like I could have cast and hit all 3 of those. That area was done. So right off the bat, the first 2 areas, the best areas that I had found, done. So from then, I just started running a lot of these little creek mouths and corners and areas that had fish traffic. You know, like a lot of fish were using them, but didn't have big concentrations of fish. I knew it was gonna be a grind after those first 2 stops were negative. I was gonna have to pick off 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there. But mentally, I was ready to go.
Yes.
Got a couple fish in the boat, you know, start working with that topwater. I felt like I was going to try to stay with the plopper for a little bit more than other topwater baits to try to focus on getting some bigger ones in the boat. And that's really kind of what I did. I stuck with that, but it started to kind of let me down towards the middle part of the day when that sun got high.
So would you say the weight on that one would be?
Call it 2-1.
Okay.
No, call it 2-2. I don't want to sell it short. It's very nice. The fish has been nothing but nice to me.
You know, I threw all that other stuff on top of that fish and it didn't eat any of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that fish was there running that bait around. Dirty. We'll call that one 113.
Okay.
It was two different fish, and I think that one was the smaller of the two. Yes!
Good job.
Yes!
That one came out of the water for it. That's cool.
That's awesome. Another 2-pounder.
Like say a 2-pounder?
Yeah. Dude, those were smallmouth. There were some big ones in there.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh my god. That was a big smallmouth. It's a 2.5 pounder right there. I mean, that both.
Of course, the best bite I had all day ended up coming off on the plopper. I mean, that's a bait with the, you know, sunline braid, instant hookups. You very rarely lose them once you actually get them hooked. And sure enough, that quality bite that I had, it came off. You know, the schooling bite, it ended up being the better bite to fill my limit and to cull with on that first day. Ended up changing up to a little walk-in bait, a little small vixen. Caught some good fish, caught a real nice smallmouth later in the day on that. Caught some other keeper smallmouth on that as well. So that kind of ended up being, you know, my go-to. But then once I had a limit, end of the day, I knew I needed one. I knew I had a small limit. I needed at least one more kicker. So, what are you going to go? I'm going to call up the magic worm. Let's go for the righty. Let's go for the magic worm. We'll go for the big one. And sure enough, old magic worm came through for me.
Good job.
Well, we wrangled as hard as we could. Got one good call late. I think it's going to sting a little bit. We lost that other good one, but that happens. Maybe tomorrow we'll get fortunate and get 5 of the right ones. So go in here and weigh them up and see where we're going to end up.
So at the end of day one, I ended up a little short of the cut. I knew that was not good. So I wanted to make sure that I put myself in contention, at least around some better quality fish. So on day 2, I had a little different approach. I started in a totally different area.
Okay, day 2, getting out here. Got my man Rick over here. He's gonna witness the action today. We're gonna get rained on. There's a big storm coming. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad and we can catch plenty of fish. I think we need at least 13 pounds to make sure we're gonna fish another day. That's what we're after, trying to get them bigger ones. Got some decisions to make this morning on where we're gonna start, what we're gonna do. Hopefully it'll all work out.
Where's Paul?
Paul Mueller, then you're behind Mueller.
Yeah.
Bernie Schultz.
A 2-time Elite Series champion, 12-time Bassmaster Classic gold car from Salem, Virginia, the Crosse Mississippi, Crosse.
Wisconsin, when you go to La Crosse and you fish that upper Mississippi pool, you've got to throw a frog. So that's really what I started out doing on day 2. We had some stronger than expected winds. I didn't expect wind that strong, but I stuck with the frog, and it was almost like that first bite in the first 10 minutes. It almost kind of scared me when I got it. So, okay, first 10 minutes, a fish bigger than anything I had the day before. Really good start. I'm gonna absolutely milk this area with a frog and see if we can put 2 or 3 more quality fish in the boat. I know I can fill a limit, but I needed 2 or 3 more of those better quality fish so that I could put myself well into the cut range. I felt like this is what I needed to do. We got a couple of those bites, but couldn't quite get them in the boat. Ended up making a little change. Got into a little patch of clear water. When I get the clear water, those overcast skies, I really like picking up a toad. You can make really long casts with it, and they seem to really track it down well in that type of condition. So that's what keeper number 2 came on. So after about half of the day was spent in that grass area, I said, man, I can't come in. I can't live and die here. It's not like everybody was pounding them, around me that I could see. So I picked up, moved, went back to the general area where I fished in day 1, and I was just going to go. I was focused on going ahead and putting 5 keepers in the boat. Soon as I stopped on my first stop, we put 1 in the boat, and I knew I'd made the right decision.
Catch one like that, would you rather I get on the back or you sit here? Or?
Either way.
Okay.
The no man's land is standing up.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of what I'm saying.
Just stay where you're seated or get up on the back if you got time.
And just don't be a moving target, right? Nice job.
Small ones are not biting in this stuff.
Mine's coming together.
But the large chipping on it.
Yeah, that day 2, I felt like made the right decision, put a couple of quick keepers in the boat. So I had 4 keepers. I knew I was going to catch that limit. Just a matter of time. I just kept bouncing around, and I really wanted to try to keep that plopper in my hand because I knew it would get a better quality fish than most any other bait in that vicinity. And then when we had that rain roll in, I was like, man, this is the ingredient that I'm looking for to catch a couple kickers.
Go, man.
We got the bites I was looking for. They just weren't the size that I thought we were gonna get. Then the rain kind of passed. Then it was just trying to grind out the rest of the day and try to put together the best limit we had. I knew we did a little bit better, but making that cut was going to be closer than I wanted. Lo and behold, we missed the cut again. 51st place this time. Only 4 ounces out. I think it was 4 ounces. 4, 6 ounces, 3 ounces. I mean, they all start running together. When you miss the cut over and over and over again, they all start running together. The last 2 tournaments, I just barely missed the cut in both tournaments. That seemed like how the majority of my season was, and it was. That's exactly how it was. So it's kind of odd, you know, sometimes when you don't have the best season, you are just ready for a break. You are just ready to, you put the rods in the corner. I don't want to see them again, but that's not how I feel. It's kind of odd. I feel like I want to fish again next week. I want to fish again the week after. I want redemption. I don't feel like I'm fishing bad. I'm not quite dialing everything in, but just not quite good enough to make the cuts. And so I'm really anxious to try to get that figured out before we start off next season. So this fall, I'm gonna fish a few local tournaments. I'm gonna be doing some filming like I always do, but I'm gonna try to fish a little bit more maybe this off season than I normally do. But I'm gonna do it kind of at my pace and in my leisure, when I want to and how I want to. So hopefully that pays off a little bit more towards next year. This year, man, it just kind of fizzled out. After that great win at the beginning of the year, it just totally fizzled out, and it was kind of disappointing. But huge congratulations to my man Brian Schmidt for pulling off the win at this last Bassmaster Elite Series event. He made the Classic, then he double made the Classic because he won the last tournament, and sure enough, his day 1 bag came all on the magic worm. The rest of the tournament, including the last day, he caught almost all of his fish on a Carolina rig of all things, and a baby destroyer from Missile Baits. That is my go-to bait. It shouldn't be his. I guess it's ours technically now, since he won a tournament with a big part of it being the baby destroyer. It's kind of our deal. Okay, I'll give him it's our deal now. But I'm really happy for Brian. Such a nice guy. He is a true winner. When you give that dude the right tools and you put him on the right kind of body of water, he's gonna get the job done for sure. But very happy for Brian, made the Classic. I'll be rooting for him. I'll be a spectator at this Classic coming up next year, but I'm gonna look forward to getting the season started, do some more fishing this fall, as I mentioned. But that's just kind of, you know, sometimes the years don't go exactly the way you want them to go, and you can't beat yourself up too much about it, because sometimes life happens, sometimes things happen, and you just don't quite get it done. So you just can't make a habit of it. I'm not looking towards making a habit of not making the Classic, but I would like to have the habit of winning a tournament every year. So those things don't come very often, and that's what my focus is going into this off season. Now that I did not make the Bassmaster Classic